Hey everyone, John T. Meyer here for episode 9 of Answers to Questions. And we got 3 great questions coming at you today, so let's get right to it. All right, for the first question, it comes in from Twitter from @EricRDew, and he said, what's your approach to storytelling about a product or service that might be considered boring? Great question, Eric. The first thing I would say is, if it's boring and no one has interest in it, then you probably don't have a product or service, because then they're not gonna buy it and you're not gonna make any money. So a lot of boring products make a ton of money, right? Toothpaste, for instance. We all buy toothpaste and we all use it, hopefully, at least twice a day. But toothpaste, they tell their story around why we need it to be healthy and why we need it to keep our teeth clean. And it's not a sexy product, it's pretty boring, but we all need toothpaste. So if your product or service is a little bit boring, if you describe it that way, think about the utility of the product or why we need it, and make sure you're always selling the benefits and not the features. So not that it's the fastest or the most latest and greatest technology, but maybe your product saves me time. Maybe it saves me money. Both of those things, even if they're not exciting products, are really great benefits. If you can save me time, if you can save me money, if you can prove that I can't live without your product, even if it's boring, then that'll work. So tell that story. All right, the next question comes in from Twitter from @NathanShock. What's up, Nathan? Friend of mine. He says, what makes for a good personal voicemail greeting? I had to laugh. I hadn't thought about the voicemail greeting for a while. So my gut here actually is that this is kind of a generational question, that if you ask people of different ages, they might say something different. So we're gonna try that.
I do use voicemail. It's just my basic, hi, it's me. Leave your name and number. Sorry, missed you.
I have a voicemail, but I don't really use it.
So I personally use an app called Umail. It actually has personalized voicemails for each person that you can call or a group of people.
My answer would be to try to capture your personality, whatever it is, exciting and dynamic, kind of maybe shy and a little bit quiet. Try to just be yourself in your voicemail greeting. Make sure you give them your name so they know if they've gotten the right inbox, then a way to get you back, your phone number, or give them an expectation of how quickly you'll call them back. If you don't ever check your voicemail, just say, I don't ever check my voicemail, so send me a tweet or send me an email. Just be honest, be real, and be you. All right, our third question comes in from an email that I got from Arthur. And Arthur said, how should I go about finding the right space for my startup? What if the most practical space for us at this time is not our ideal space? And would you advise taking a chance on the space in hopes of moving to our dream space as the company grows? Good question, Arthur. And my first thought there is that space is a little overrated, right? Space is a heavy expense on your monthly balance sheet. And it can be important. Obviously, if you're retail space is critical. For a company like Lemonly, it took us about 4.5 years until we found our dream space, right? And even here now, there's probably things we still wish we had. So space isn't as important as figuring out the nuts and bolts of your business, your customer, and growing those type of things. In fact, if I could do it all over again, I'd sometimes consider not even having a space and just doing it all virtually. Now, what a space does for us is really helps contribute to that company culture that we talked about last week. So I'd think more about how your space is right for your team and your culture, even if you're on top of each other because it's so crowded and you're all crammed in the corner on your laptops. So don't worry about ideal space right away. Just do what works and keep your costs low. All right, that's it here for episode 9. I'm excited next week we go to 10 double digits. Send in your questions with the hashtag AQJTM, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, or just email me, john@lemonly.com. We'll see you next week.